They believe, we believe in collaboration. We believe in working together. And we believe that when we work together, we're more of a powerful force. Welcome to the Bigger Than Food podcast. I am the proprietor and host. My name is Apollo Woods, and on the Bigger Than Food podcast, we talk to entrepreneurs, community leaders, change agents who are doing amazing work in their industry and or their community. But the take we decided to go with in this podcast is we want to talk about the story, the journey. How did they get to where they are? Not just primarily about what they do, but understand how they did it to get to where they are. Because to me, it's more important to understand the steps that they took, the complete journey, because we often hear stories where they talk about the end. But what did it take for you to get there from the perspective of life experiences? So we have a great conversation on the podcast, and I want to take another angle on a conversation I had recently. So yesterday, I posted on my personal Facebook page that 9 out of 10 Black-owned businesses are solo entrepreneurs. Got a lot of feedback. I wasn't expecting this much engagement because I was trying a different engagement strategy on social media. I have some really good friends who are out there doing amazing branding work, and so what they would do, they would post a message. It would be very short, and underneath it, they would make comments. So they are breaking that message down into probably 7 to 10 smaller messages, so it reads underneath. And I was like, you know what? Let me try that. Let me try this strategy and see how much engagement I get in y'all. I was surprised. Not that I was surprised. I was excited. Really, I was really excited because I had never tried it that way before. You follow me? Sometimes I could be long-winded and write paragraphs because I thought that's what you just did. Blogging, whatever it would be. But so I just made a statement. 9 out of 10 Black-owned businesses are solo entrepreneurs, which is a fact. And then I broke it down into different, more inspirational and positive messages underneath that post. And I am excited about the engagement that I got because we live in a environment now where there's just so much negative information, especially when we talk about challenges. When you talk about Black-owned businesses or Black people, it usually is right around the corner. That's too far away. The next sentence is some challenge, access to capital, racism, and oppression, all these negative things. And I don't live in a world where everything that I do is associated with being negative, because Black people do amazing work. Small businesses do amazing work. So why do we not talk about an angle? I know why. Because it's easier for us to talk about problems than talk about solutions. It's easier for us to tell you what's wrong with our life versus what's happening good. The next time you see a friend or a family member and say, hey, how things going? And put a stopwatch and see how long it takes them to tell you about a problem. We love talking about problems. Let's talk about some solutions. So let me get to some of the feedback that I got from that post. And it was done in a way it was done in a way for engagement only, not realizing that it turned into almost like a survey to see what people were really thinking, what got the most response. And there are some people that regularly engage with my posts, and there are people that don't. But it was good to see the people that do not regularly interact on my Facebook page interact, give a response, engage. So I'm going to give you a few things, not all of them. So again, the message was 9 out of 10 Black-owned businesses are solo entrepreneurs. And then in parentheses underneath that, I put read the comments. Again, I tried it. Just want to see what happens. So here are some things that I put down. in the first comment underneath. Now I'm gonna scroll to the bottom because if you make a comment, the most recent comment is at the top. So I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. The first thing that I said was collaboration with other Black-owned businesses is necessary. We are powerful. We are a powerful community with limitless potential. By joining forces, we can break barriers, build legacies, and last. Support doesn't just mean buying. It's about sharing knowledge, connections, and resources. Let's lift each other up. Imagine the impact if we all committed to partnering with at least one other Black-owned business that's this year. Change happens through collaboration. Solo entrepreneurs are incredible solo entrepreneurs are incredible, but imagine the impact we could have by joining forces. Together, we amplify our voices, resources, and reach. And this one was a bit more, I started getting a little, fiery. Q1, Q2 of 2025 will be the most difficult year of Black-owned businesses unwilling to pivot. Mark my words, there will be no free money programs to save your business from bad habits. There are several others, so I won't go through. So there are some responses. So as I started to see the engagement, I wanted to see who responded the most, what type of likes or response I got the most. I wasn't asking for them to tell me anything other than just read the comments. And here's what I'll tell you: the top 3 most liked or engaged comments out of those. And there were several. The top most engaged comment was, and this had 14 engagements, was a like, thumbs up, or the care icon. When Black-owned businesses collaborate, we build networks that benefit communities. It's about creating a cycle of support that strengthens us all. That was the top one. Coming in second, collaboration with other Black-owned businesses is necessary. There were several that tied for third. I'll just pick one. So with 9 responses, solo entrepreneurs are incredible, but imagine the impact we could have by joining forces. Together, we amplify our voices, resources, and reach. If you listen to the common thread between the top 3, what did you hear? And I'll read them back again so you can refresh your memory, or as you're listening, you can rewind after this is over. The top one, the number 1 most engaged post, is when Black-owned businesses collaborate, we build networks that benefit the entire community. The second is collaboration with other Black-owned businesses is necessary. Third, solo entrepreneurs are incredible, but imagine the impact we could have by joining forces. Together, we amplify our voices, resources, and reach. So when you're listening to what I just described in those top 3 of, I think maybe 10, 11 of the 11, 3 of the 11 had essentially one thing in common: collaboration, joining together. That's what the most responses, 14, 10, 9. I haven't looked much into the insights. So this is my first time looking at the insights. So there were 3,282 views, 64 total likes, 28 total comments, 5 shares. That reached 1,825 people from posting yesterday. So looked at the data, because data matters. And that's what that post got from the likes and the engagement. So what does that tell us? Before I get there, I could easily say there's a problem there's 9 out of the 10 solo entrepreneurs. We got to do better. That's the tone. But look at it this angle. In spite of the challenges put in front of Black-owned businesses, in spite of, 9 out of 10 are solo entrepreneurs or businesses that have fewer than 4 employees. How many businesses do you know that have either one or yourself, or they have fewer than 4 employees? You go into a brick and mortar business, and how many employees do you see? 2, 3, 4 people doing multiple jobs. So as a group of people in entrepreneurship and small business ownership, we have found ways to do things ourselves. I'm going to give you a different way to look at this 9 out of 10 that are solo entrepreneurs. We have consistently been creative and innovative. We have consistently, persistently, and being determined over time, found ways to make a dream a reality, to feel good about pursuing our passions. We found a way to do that. Most of the business have done that. 90% of the solo entrepreneurs. Now, these are businesses that are LLC businesses. You are a registered business, an active business registered, not an unregistered business, meaning you're tracked, you have an LLC, S Corp. You have a business registered in the state that you reside. 90%. We have found a way, in spite of, to be creative and innovative to benefit our communities and take these ideas in our head and put them on paper or a napkin or on chalkboards and make them happen. 90%. 90%. Has it always been that way? I don't know, right? I don't know. But what I do know, that 300, 400, 500 years, centuries, Black people have made major contributions to the economy. And I'm not talking about slavery. Inventions, patents, the labor force contributions, and I'm not talking about slavery. Building our own towns and settlements, industry, professions. Now, there are many circumstances that continue to keep Black folks from getting the credit they deserve. But what we're talking about today is what we do well. We do amazing work. And with this message out today, what people say they want is collaboration. We believe in collaboration. We believe in working together. And we believe that when we work together, we're more of a powerful force. That's what the majority response was from everybody throughout the thread. We all agreed on collaboration, coming together in unity, that what we can do in working together is a greater impact. We believe that. We believed in the responses in this post that we believe that you should go find another Black-owned business to support. Now, what is that? That is business to business, not business to consumer. You know, on the podcast, we talk quite a bit about how to attract more customers. But working with a fellow business owner is a customer too. It's business to business. Put it this way. If we have complementary services or products that could lead to more customers, can you see that being more sustainable? That if I, for example, provide marketing services that let people know, and for those of you who probably lump marketing in, marketing is often the most neglected part of a business. People probably lump it into just an idea, but marketing tells the marketplace what you do. Social media is a strategy within marketing. Marketing says that I have this plan to let people know because we have a target. Whether it's a sales target, which it should be, we let the marketplace know what we're going to do for them, and they attract the customer that we're looking for. Branding are the results of your consistent or inconsistent marketing that the consumer says or thinks about your business. So if you're inconsistent in your restaurant or business is rarely open, then then the customer gets the message that you are not consistent and I don't consider you. I go somewhere else. But if you are consistent, then the customer knows I can always depend that you'll be there. So they don't think about it and they go and support you. You have a great quality product, or you're developing, and this is what I love about entrepreneurship. There are people who watch your growth and your journey. And I don't know if this happened to you, but it's happened to me, and it's happened more um, more often this year than in years past. And someone said, "Man, I remember the first brunch. Man, I remember when you first started doing this or that." And I had no idea people were paying attention, but people are. And the same thing in your life. Just think about it for yourself. As you have evolved and grown and developed new skills and life experiences, people can recognize, you know what, I see the change in you. I see the growth in you. Or maybe it's the other side. Hey, what's going on? There's something going on, because it's not what I characterize you to be. It's something going on. People see your growth, whether that is progressive or regressive or stagnant. They see it. It's the same in business. Here's the challenge. How do we achieve collaboration, unification, and make powerful impacts in our communities? How we do that? I'm not talking about a neighborhood. A neighborhood is more of a specific location. So if I live in a neighborhood such as a street, an intersection, like where you live, that's your neighborhood. Community is considered more of a region. Neighborhood is a specific location in a community. Community could be a quadrant. It could be a metro area. It could be a region. That's community. Within community, I love this statement that Lamar Tyler says from Traffic Sales and Profit. He says, everything that you need is in community. Why? There's diversity of skill set, mindset, results in community. It's found in community. Not to say it's not found in neighborhood, but when you have a diverse marketplace, a diverse community, and there is diversity within the same racial or ethnic group, gender group, there's still diversity within that. But when we start thinking about collaboration and unification, we must expand. I've come up with this, I'm trying to refine this breakdown of community. The way you achieve community is breaking down into this way. Look at the word com, C-O-M or C-O-M-M, communication. If we're not talking to each other, I'm not just talking about just your friends, the same club or place you go to and is comfortable in your same space. We have to go find people who have different experiences. That sometimes is frustrating as a person like myself. Like I love to network. So my morning times, I'll get up early in the morning and I enjoy meeting people for coffee or breakfast between 7:30 and 9:30 in the morning. I have that luxury owning a business. That's one thing I loved about being in sales, is setting a schedule. But I'm able to take that time, 30 to 45 minutes and sometimes an hour and a half, to build a relationship and connection with the person. I promise you, if you sit down with someone and you're probing, asking them more about them and what they want and what they need, you'll get more out of them to understand, where do we have commonality? Get it? The more we communicate and more I'm trying to understand your ambitions, needs, and wants, I find commonality. My goal in each conversation is to understand, how do we come to agreement? Where do we agree on? Think about your friends. The ones you spend the most time with, not the ones that you just know by, time and space. Even family. You spend more time with people that you have found agreement with. You spend less time with people that you have disagreements with. Because once you get into that rabbit hole of we just don't get along, or we don't see eye to eye, that's where you're going to stick. It will take somebody that says, how do we find agreement? Where do we spend more time coming to agreement than running in circles on differences? That's where we have fractures. So in this conversation with online, this engagement back and forth, you hear people say, you read people responding to, we want more collaboration. We know that if we work together, now worked well is subjective. If we collaborate more, we make an impact. We are intentional about finding other peers that are Black-owned businesses, and let's say it's just other business in general. whatever group you identify with, or ethnic or racial, gender group you identify with, if you said, I'm going to be intentional and finding someone to support within my community, we can make an impact for our community. It doesn't just stop there. Now, the thing about community is there's diversity within community. You will not only find people who look like you, but in community, you will find people who don't look like you. The approach is just the same. There's not a person that I've met in my life, in my 45 years of living, that has objected to wanting a better outcome for their community, and they have their family in mind, better health outcomes, make more money to support their family, or make more money to support their dreams, to learn more information to be better. Individually, we want to be better people, but how you do that is learning more. So as you learn more, you engage more, you connect more, you find people that you think you had differences because of what your eyes have shown you, because your biases are in place that you might not think. Because I'm an advocate, a strong advocate for Black-owned businesses here in Oklahoma, that I may not have anything in common with someone that's not Black. But when you get down to it, in those conversations, we connect over food, we connect about family, we connect over being people who want better for our neighborhoods and our communities. Everyone says that. Yeah, there are some people who just have bad intentions, but most people you talk to are going to agree on they want a better life for themselves, for their family, and they want to live a better life. Health, physical health, mental health, spiritual health, emotional health. They want to live a better life. And so we are looking for those people. So back to the post I made about 9 out of 10 Black-owned businesses, solo entrepreneurs, the majority of the responses were, they believe that collaboration is key, working with other Black-owned businesses is impactful, and we can do great work together. And that narrative comes back to how we get there is that it has to start with you. We often look outside of ourselves for a change. That change starts with you. There's a quote that you probably heard that says that be the change that you want to see. And that requires you to be reflective. Think about how you think about things. If you're the person that's a pessimist, you fear-based in the conversation first, then you're probably not going to have too many people wanting to talk to you because you're negative. We got enough stuff going on in the world, but I don't want to hear you talk about a negative or picking it apart or criticizing it. But what I want to hear is, can you look at a circumstance that's not ideal, and we process it in a way that, you know what, that's not ideal, but let's try this, and be open to trying it. Because the more things you try, the more things you learn. Those are the people that we want to get to, but that starts with you. And what I've learned in entrepreneurship is, as I've grown and matured and learned a lot of lessons, made a lot of mistakes, I too have been the reason some relationships did not last. I too, not perfect. Many of them I'm glad they didn't. Okay. But the ones I value, not because I need something from them, but I value them. And the spirit in me says, hey, Apollo, you're going to go do your best to correct that because you were wrong. I'm not afraid to say I was wrong or go fix it. I do have ethics and morals and values that if you cross those, that's it. I'm just that guy. Anyway, back to it. But as you grow along the way, you pick up people. So think about when you go, those of you who have been hiking or camping. I'm an Eagle Scout, so scouting is a part of my early childhood. So we would go hiking. We would see people on the trail that we didn't know they were on the trail. That's how life is. As you're going through life, you don't know that these people are on the trail with you. You don't know that at all. You have no idea who they are. But as you go on the trail, you walk past somebody who was hiking, walking, enjoying this mountain, and you didn't know. It's someone that has some commonality. They're on this camping trail with you. Or it's sports, or whatever hobbies and passion that you have. So when you find something that you enjoy, you want to go be in that community. If you want to find a community of Black women who read certain type of books, then you go look for them. If you are someone that is passionate about riding bikes or outdoor adventure, you go look for that group. And that group is likely going to be diverse, but you found something in common that you can build community in. That's what is going to help our communities thrive. When we stay in the house and we don't go check on our neighbor, or we don't go actively see people that we have something in common with. I'm not saying that you should only find people you have things in common with, because we're all not the same. Just because we have something in common and we enjoy a particular hobby, we're not automatically going to be best buds. But at least I know we agree on this, and we'll keep it there. And the more you interact with each other, you'll find more things that you are finding in common. But you don't have to resolve to, hey, you know what, we have that in common, and then now we are best buds, lifelong friends. We have that in common. So let's get back into the business side of things. I'll say just in small markets like Oklahoma City. Now, we are an emerging market. I got to check myself on how I talk about things. In this emerging market of Oklahoma City, we are the top 20 fastest growing city in the United States, and people have a perception about what we don't have and who we're not. And I agree. Moving away and then coming back to Oklahoma in my late 30s, I had a perception, but I wanted to learn more. I wanted to be a part of community, and that's led to some great opportunities. So as being a part of communities in different spaces and taking that back to my community has created value. Here's another angle to look at it. The more you immerse yourself in adding value, your skill, your talent into a community, you can go back to your community, whoever you identify as community, and you add value to that. You find another space and place of a community, and you go and you add value. Don't go and take. We have enough takers. Go find another space of people. I firmly believe that when don't know who you serve, but I am a follower of Christ, and I know the title Christian gets a lot of negative press, but I am a follower of Christ, and I would call myself a Christian. I believe that when God created mankind, he created mankind to be in community, not to be isolated and separate. It's what I know from life experience. When you isolate yourself and you are having an idle mind and you think of your own devices and you substitute what you think in your head, you find yourself in a place not productive. We all need our quiet time to rejuvenate and get new energy. But I believe that I just don't believe, I know that we were created to be in community. Find your community. This is what will transform not just your community that you identify with. It will also transform your own development, because you will learn new things. You will add value. You will exchange. And you will live an overall better life because you've immersed yourself in community with people that have things in common. It might not just be just one thing. It could be multiple things. So when we think about 9 out of 10 Black-owned businesses are solo entrepreneurs, from the responses on this social media thread, this is what my takeaway is. Those are 9 out of 10. That 90% of those Black-owned businesses are looking for collaboration and community to make a better impact in their neighborhoods. Now, whether you are identify as a Black-owned business or African-American, person of color, whatever label you want to use, just think. If you collaborate, find people to work together, you can make an impact in your community and your neighborhood. I believe that no matter what's going on in our marketplace, no matter who is in any position of leadership, I do not believe that government is there to bail us out. But I do believe that the power of influence is in people, is in us. We make the choice to collaborate with each other's businesses, add value, not take. We're adding value to each other's businesses. And we come to tables in community. And coming to the table in community means that there you have to allow people with different experiences to come to that table. That's why buffets are great. You have a lot of options. Expand your palette with people. Mutual respect, kindness. You can disagree and not be ugly. Sometimes you gotta be, to the point forceful. But we can find ways to do amazing things together once we rethink the obstacle or challenge that's in front of us. We have an opportunity every day, whether it's a challenge or a great opportunity to do something good with it. I believe that the more you sow good seed out in the world, you will reap those things back, not just financially, but in your growth and your overall development. I believe that. Because the impact that you're going to make, someone's going to watch you. And they'll be inspired by what you do. Not always the good things that you do, but them seeing you overcome the hard times. So as you are moving throughout your day today, think about, where can you take the first step to build community around you? Is there a phone call that you need to make, that you want to sit and learn something about a person over coffee or lunch? Or maybe it's a virtual Zoom call. Find somebody. And then when you're having that conversation, I want you to think about, how can I help them? And before that, this is one thing I do in coffee meetings. I had one this morning, new person I met. I thought we were having like a 30, 45-minute conversation. It ended up being over an hour. This person can add great value to our nonprofit and our business, and me personally. And as much as he was asking me questions to help me on how we can decide, how we can figure out how to work together, they have some substantial financial resources, I felt compelled at the end of it to ask him, how can I help you? That is a statement that has helped me. That is a question, How can I help you is a question that many people are not given the ability to be asked. And it's always interesting to hear what their response is. Because see, now when I ask you, as we're getting a chance to learn each other, and I ask you, how can I help you? It's personal. Because many people are usually asked, how can I help you? It's personal. Versus, what do you need help with? They'll typically respond with, oh, nothing. Well, sometimes we do. Like, you got it? So we usually like, hey, you got it? Usually it's like, I'm asking you, but I don't really want you to tell me what you need because I'm not going to do it. But if I say to you, hey, how can I help you? What it sounds like is I want to be of service to you. So that's how you build a relationship. So that is the conclusion of this episode of the Bigger Than Food podcast. So do us a favor, go to our YouTube channel at Bigger Than Food and subscribe. Make sure you hit those notifications so you'll see the next episodes that we release, as we are on our journey to our 50th episode of the Bigger Than Food podcast. And also, the audio versions of our podcast are on your favorite podcast platform. Just search Bigger Than Food podcast on your favorite podcast and platform and support us. And the last thing, tell a friend. Tell a friend. Tell a friend about the podcast and listen to it, whether you're working out or taking a walk or on a journey. We design these podcast episodes in a way that hope they inspire you, and I hope that you really appreciate the work that we do. And then lastly, if you have a great story, you have an interesting story that you want to share, not just your regular person, but it could be not just a popular person, but But if there's someone in your neighborhood, at your job, that you believe does something amazing that somebody needs to know about it beyond the people in your small circle, send us a message, DM us, and we love to have them on the Bigger Than Food podcast. Thank you for joining the Bigger Than Food podcast. We hope you found inspiration in stories shared today. Remember, it's the courage to take action that drives real change in the world. Be sure to subscribe to the Bigger Than Food podcast for more conversations with movers and shakers who are shaping our tomorrow. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep believing, and keep making a difference.